This is Lee Gerstmann, and you're listening to Vicky's Vagina.
What? That's not the name of my show.
I mean Vieira's Vagina.
No, man, it's Vieira Vault.
That's what she said.
Grab a jam, let's see where this is down. It's my podcast. This guy's insane. Rock your brain. It's just a sound. It's the Vieira Vault.
Hey, Schmack-a-magab, everybody. It's time for another Vieira Vault. And this week I got the great Lee Gerstmann to join me to talk about Cheap Trick's 1980 album, All Shook Up. But before we get into the review, I'm doing something that I haven't done in a long time, and I've been promising to do it. Well, I've been promising to do it the last 2 episodes, and here I am doing it. Talking about the reviews I've been getting. And hey, I got an iTunes review from Angel Canino. And he says, or maybe it's a she, I don't know. It's Angel. Could go either way. Great podcast. Talks about bands I grew up listening to with the occasional tidbit or information that gives me some context on how records and songs were created. The vault song at the end is always welcome. Great job. Great job, you, Angel, that leaving that comment. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And hey, we need more iTunes reviews. And then I'm gonna go here. I know I got so many comments on YouTube that I can't read them all, because I've been lacking. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the comments I got in the last 2 episodes, the AC/DC episodes with Will Carroll and Edward Canistracci. First one is from JW99. He said, I enjoy the hell out of listening to all you guys. Keep up the good work, Ralph. Thank you so much, JW. And let me reply to him right now. Right there. I just replied to him. JJT wrote, Flick of the Switch, last great AC/DC album in my opinion. Back in Black is flawless, and For Those About to Rock is great too. But it's no Back in Black. I gotta agree with you, JJT. If you listen to the episode, you know what I meant. You know what I mean. I agree with you 100%. Gilberto Caballero wrote, I was re-listening to some of your old episodes, and I gotta say, these episodes about Queen are one of the best. Oh, this is Yohalamo. This is going back to episode 28. Your guest in this one, Yohalamo, is very funny and entertaining to hear. He doesn't have a podcast or channel on his own, does he? No, he doesn't, Gilberto, but he should. And I will get Yohalamo back, because Yohalamo rules, man. Thank you for the comment. And Gilberto. Next one is from Tom Fagan that says, the 3 songs from the time on Backtrack, Snake Eyes, Borrowed Time, and Down on the Borderline are better than 7 other songs that made up Blow Up Your Video album. Wasn't this also the session that several 3 or 5 demos were stolen and AC/DC just abandoned the songs? That's a good question, Tom Fagan, and I don't know. Maybe Edwin would have known that. If I would have known that, I would have asked him, but I'm not sure about that. All right, next one, my good buddy, Abby and Hannah's dad. Great dude. He wrote, Back in Black is a perfect album, not a single dud on the album. Thank you, Abby. Alexander Frick, he wrote, 1976 to 1981 period is crucial with 5-6 inputs from black and white period. Oh, that he's talking about the Blue Oyster Cult episode, which was 83. There's many more comments, but I'm going to stop right here. But in future episodes, I'm going to be up to date with the YouTube and the iTunes. And I also want to thank everybody that shares. I'm going to start writing down your names. I know James West is one of them. I don't want to continue saying names because I know I'm going to forget people. But all you people that share the Vieira Vault, I will mention you in future episodes. I'm going to write it down when I see people share the Vieira Vaults. So, all right. So, this is great. This is a great review. Lee, in his inebriated state, joins me in talking about All Shook Up, Cheap Trick, and I talk about how I thought of him for this at the last minute. This is a last minute thing. I recorded this on Friday. Now I'm airing it on a Sunday, which, by the way, that means I'm out of episodes. So next Friday, hopefully I'll get Will Carroll and we'll talk about The Who. If not, I'll figure something out because every Sunday, I haven't been bad yet, man. I've only missed 2 of them since I left the Rock and Metal Combat podcast. And again, I must stress, I've done so many fan-paid reviews, but if there's anybody out there that you paid for the Rock and Pod to be on Rock and Metal, and if you want to be on the VR Vault, that's the most important part. If you want to take part in doing it on my show, please hit me up and we'll make it happen. So here is the review of All Shook Up with Lee Gerstmann. Enjoy. I got with me the great Lee Gerstmann. Hi, Lee.
I'm like grated cheese, the grated Lee Gerstmann. And rubber cement to you too, buddy.
The fuck are you talking about now?
I'm talking about rubber cement. Didn't you ever sniff it as a kid?
Yeah.
Didn't you ever rub noses with your best friend and get your noses stuck together?
Well,
Man, I wish I could visit you and do some Eskimo glue.
You really frighten me.
Only if I slightly really frighten you, that's fine. But if I really frighten you, then I'm gonna have to do something about that.
Right. Oh, hey, Lee. So last night, I wake up like around 4:30 in the morning, and I had some music playing because I sleep to music. And on my iPod Shuffle, and Go For Your Throat, Use Your Own Imagination came on, which is off Cheap Trick's All Shook Up. And it's such a wacky album. It's such a wacky song that I thought, who would be the best person to review this album than wacky-ass Lee?
Yeah, like a whack paddle on the butt. Hey, Butley hurt, but I don't hurt.
That went over my head.
It didn't go over my head. It went on my butt.
All right, Lee. Well, anyway, Lee, were you aware of this? Oh, yeah, and there's another thing. At like 4:30 in the morning, I said, yeah, man, I'm going to do an episode of this. Well, let's see if Lee's available. So I write Lee at 4:30 in the morning.
And I was.
Like, yeah, and I wrote him, and I said, hey, Lee, can you do my podcast tonight? We'll do Cheap Trick, All Shook Up, thinking, he'll reply to me later in the day. Motherfucker, what the hell were you doing up at that time?
Hey, man, I don't sleep.
Oh, sleep is for
no,
posers.
I do, but I don't sleep at times that people want me to sleep.
Like now, you're sleeping now.
Almost.
All right, well, Lee, did you know about this album before I told you? Have you heard?
How many minutes do you want me to say? Like 10 seconds or 2 minutes or what?
About 30. It's a simple question. Have you heard this album before I told you?
I'm being funny with you. I was in Los Angeles.
Hey, Lee. When you're being funny with me, make sure I laugh.
No.
Well, then ain't funny.
If you laugh, then I know you're feeling happy, and that gives me pain.
Oh, that's right. You love my misery.
Sometimes I only like it.
So Lee,
anyway,
have you heard this album before?
I was in Los Angeles. It was probably around the time that this album came out. I was visiting my sister, and I went to the library, and the person who checked out my albums looked like a young Deborah Harry, and I thought she was kind of hot looking, and I took this album out of the library and I heard it. I never owned it. It was the first album Cheap Trick did at that time that I didn't own, but I still heard it. And when I heard it in LA, I thought it's the perfect place to hear it because it just had that vibe. I was thinking of the hot Deborah Harry looking librarian, and it was interesting. And then I hadn't heard it for a long time, and then occasionally I would hear it again, but I don't hear it much. It's not one of the albums that I go to usually. I usually go to either their first album or Dream Police when I go to hear a Cheap Trick album. But occasionally I will go to this album just to hear it once in a while. And so I heard it again tonight, and yeah.
Now I'm sleeping.
Hey!
I'm kidding! All right, Lee.
You want some Quaker Oats up your butt?
Again?
I
there's no more
Sorry.
Quaker Oats that can fit in my butt.
They don't call me Kellogg the Killer Crunchy Dwarf for nothing. Never mind.
I like to meet they.
Uh.
All right,
Yeah.
Lee. Well, Lee, I discovered this too when it first came out. I bought it, and I absolutely loved this album. For a while, it was my favorite Cheap Trick album, but then I was like, well, who am I kidding here? I'm just saying it's my favorite Cheap Trick album because it's nobody's favorite Cheap Trick album, so I want to be countercultural. But it is a great, great album. I love this album. It's wacky. It's really kooky. And, at that time, Cheap Trick was a little overexposed with Budokan and Dream Police. And when this album came out, all my friends hated it. The album cover looks kind of like New Wave. And Cheap Trick, yeah, man, it's not a good album. And I was like, damn. I really like this album. I wonder why these people don't like it. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I bought it. I loved it. I saw the tour, UFO open. Had a big eye during High Priest of Rhythmic Noise. And I just think it's a really exceptionally great album. But it does have its flaws. And we will talk about those flaws when we get to it.
Yeah,
but
I might have more to say about the flaws than you will.
I'm pretty sure you will, because after all, your musical taste sucks.
Hey!
What?
No.
I'm sorry.
It sucks up goodness.
It sucks up oatmeal out of people's asses.
Hey. That's not a bad thing.
I know. It's
oatmeal up your butt. It ain't a bad thing. Hey, Grandpa.
Right on, Lee. All right, Lee, I'm going to let you kick off this review with track 1, which is Stop This Game. What do you think of Stop This Game?
Okay, well, this is one of the best songs on the album. It's the most original sounding song on it, and it has a progressive rock edge, which is interesting. So, thumbs up for me.
Right on. This is one that it took some growing for me. I love it. But, it's not one of my favorites on the album, but I still love it. I just think it was a weird way. And did you notice, Lee, the intro to the song is that note that builds before Robin Zander starts singing? You know what that's about?
I don't, but I don't mind if you tell me.
All right. The person that produced this album was George Martin.
Yeah.
From the Beatles. Well, that note that starts the album is the same note that ends Day in the Life, Sgt. Pepper. When they hit that piano,
did they use that same exact note?
I think so. I could be wrong. I think so.
That's cool.
So you know how Staying Alive fades out. This is kind of like it fading back into this album.
It's so like saying, stop this game with the day in the life, make it, make it like now. I don't know what I said, but
Me neither.
yeah,
Well,
right on.
I do love this song. It's strange. I could do without the ding ding that little what is that? A xylophone or something? Bing bing bing
Yeah,
bing
I
bing.
kind of like that. I mean, I could hear it without it, but I think that even with that little weird thing in it, I do think that it does work. It might not be like the very best thing on the song, but it doesn't ruin it for me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't really ruin it for me, but I would prefer to have it without it because I have seen them play it live and you don't hear that live, so I prefer the live version. But anyway,
Yeah.
I dig it. What do you think of the next track? Just Got Back.
Okay. Um it's the best filler song on the album. I do like it, but it sounds a little bit too rockabilly for my taste. Still, I wouldn't skip it.
Honestly, I think this song should have kicked off the album, and you still use that Beatles chord, building up, and then bam, go into the drums. I think this would have been a perfect opener for the album. I absolutely love this song. This song is fucking awesome. It's epic. It's extremely short, and the lyrics are based on a story that Robin Zander was writing, a novel of
Huh.
Solitary Sam and all these characters in the song. But it's very short to the point, and but I don't mind that. It doesn't overstay its welcome for 1 second. I think it's a kick-ass rockin' tune, and
Yeah.
then it goes into the next track, which
I
is
was going to say quickly that even though I think that this would have been a better first song other than Can't Stop the Music, I will say I do kind of like Can't Stop the Music better.
okay. That's legitimate. I got no gripe there. I'll take Just Got Back, but not by much. All
All
right,
right.
then we go into the next track, which is Baby Loves to Rock. What do you think of this one?
Okay. A filler song that sounds like they were painting by the numbers. The only interesting moment in the song was a small part of Rick Nielsen's solo sounding like Alan Wilson of Canned Heat. And I thought that was interesting and cool. Other than that, I would have to say that I would have wanted to hear something with a little more originality. My
Okay,
thumbs don't go up or down for this song. They're
it's
asleep.
halfway. All right. Well, to me, it's kind of like an ode to my generation because it has that little
Yeah.
structure with the guitar, and Robin Zander stutters in the song, like my generation. That is Rick Nielsen on the bass. When you hear
Oh,
that guitar solo, then the bass solo going back and forth, that's Rick Nielsen playing bass. At the time, Tom
that's cool.
Peterson, Tom Peterson did play on the album, but he was gone. He didn't do this tour. It was Pete Comita. He left the band
Huh.
shortly after recording this album.
So
But
that was one of the songs that he was not on.
that, yeah, and I could be wrong, but I think there's a few other songs that it's all Rick on bass, but I could be wrong.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure Rick played all the bass on the next album, One on One. But
Oh, okay. I have to
but
tell you that even though I'm giving you my opinions on this album now, it doesn't mean that I won't continue to hear it again. And I might change my mind in further listens. But for right now, these are the things that I'm thinking of them.
right on, right on. Well, I do dig the song. It became kind of a concert staple for a while. Then they took it off the set list, and the last, I don't know if it was the last time or the time before, they brought it back out. That, I saw them play this and Stop This Game the last time I saw, one of the last times I saw them. They played both songs, which was
Wow,
refreshing because they haven't played them in so long. All
that's
right.
cool.
Then we go into the next track, which is Can't Stop It, But I'm Gonna Try. What do you think of this one?
Well, this makes me want to hear the Rolling Stones song "One Hit to the Body" instead. I don't hate this song, but it's filler to me. It's okay, but very middle of the road.
All right. This is my favorite song off the album.
Oh,
I, I love this song. And another thing, too, is that all the albums before All Shook Up contain songs from their club days. This is the first
mm,
album. This is the first album they recorded all from scratch.
huh,
And yeah, this is like there's no old material on this. That's why it does sound very different than the albums before, for the most part.
huh,
There are little hints of classic Cheap Trick on here, but this is all brand new material,
huh.
and I love it. And I love when they played it on Saturday Night Live. It's a great live version. They played "Baby Loves to Rock" also on Saturday Night Live, which is
Mm,
weird because they played it at the time where "Stop This Game" was a single. Because the album just came out, they released "Stop This Game" as a single, and then they do Saturday Night Live, and they don't play "Stop This Game." They play "Baby Loves to Rock" and "Can't Stop," but I'm gonna try. But
yeah.
I absolutely love it. All right, then we go to the next one, very Beatlesque, "World's Greatest Lover." What do you think of this one?
This is one of my favorite songs on the album
I'm
because it's a
surprised.
change of pace from most of the other songs. And it totally sounds like a Jeff Lynne and Electric Light Orchestra song. I think they would have done a really good cover version of this. If there were 3 or 4 songs like this on the album, I might not like it as much, but I do like it. And I usually don't like Cheap Trick ballads, but this is cool.
I agree with you. I love this ballad. Um, the box set brings the demo to the ballad where Rick Nielsen sings the song.
Huh,
And yeah, and he does a good job. He does a really good job.
that's
This song,
cool.
Rick wrote this song thinking of a guy in World War One in a foxhole writing a letter to his wife or something.
Oh, right
I
on.
think it brings that lush George Martin production with the strings and Robin singing very Lennon esque to the song. It's very John Lennon, and this is recorded before John Lennon died. Same
Oh,
year,
okay.
same year. I think they recorded this in February, and
Oh, okay.
where John died in December. And I think this album was even released before John died. I got to
Oh,
look at the
okay.
date it was released, but I know John was died on December 8th, I believe, and I know this album didn't come out in December. But anyway,
Wow.
that's the end of side one, Lee. Now we're gonna attack side two.
Okay.
Now it gets very wacky.
Ha.
It starts with High Priest of Rhythmic Noise. What do you think of this one?
It's a good song, but even though it's weird, it sounds kind of controlled. Like the weirdness was for dramatic effect because they knew some fans would like that style. It's like they recycled the weird middle part of the song Dream Police and thought nobody would notice. I don't mind the song, but I don't think it was weird enough.
Really?
Yeah.
I think this song is beyond wacky, and I
You
love it.
haven't heard enough of my music.
No, I have. I'm talking about in Cheap Trick standards. It's very
I
wacky.
know, but yeah, okay, yeah. My standards are beyond weird.
Yeah, beyond low too.
Okay, well, for a Cheap Trick song, still, I think they could have been a little weirder.
Well, I like the robotic talking, referencing a
Yeah.
future album title. The robot says "Next position, please." I love Robin's voice. Just a
Yeah.
singer in a vine choir. It's such a killer. Weird.
They probably influenced Styx doing Mr. Roboto.
Hey, that's a good point, Lee, because it does
I
have
just
that.
thought of that right now.
Yep, it does have that robotic voice. So yeah, yeah, and they're both from Chicago.
But I will say that this is a hell of a lot better song than that crap.
Well, what isn't?
Um, I don't even want to know.
Yeah, it's a brain teaser thinking of a worse song than Mr. Roboto.
Yeah, maybe if I heard Purina Cat Chow commercial for 100 hours,
Yeah.
that might finally drive me insane. But other than that, nothing
Meow
else
meow
would be
meow meow
worse.
meow 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 meow. Is that the
Okay,
one?
stop.
Meow 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 meow
Hey,
meow
I
meow.
said stop.
Is that the commercial though?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a catchy little jingle there, Lee.
Yeah,
I'll
but
I'll
not for
take that.
100 hours,
Yeah, for 100.
especially if
No,
my
no.
uncle were crawling on the floor asking for a steak and going meow 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 meow, please Lee, meow 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 meow, please Lee. Never
Please,
mind.
Pleasley. Elvis Pleasley.
Yeah, oh, Elvis Presley and that album Bite That Steak, bitch.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, but you know what? I'll take meow 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 for 100 hours over Mr. Roboto for another 100 hours. That's what I think.
99 hours, yes, but not 100
All
for me.
right, Lee. Well, now we're going to go into the next one. It's a rockin' tune called Love Comes Tumbling Down. What do you think of this one?
This is a great song. Kind of like a better version of Aerosmith's Jailbait. This is the type of stuff by Cheap Trick I love. Really awesome.
Hell yeah. This song was written about Bon Scott. It,
Huh.
yeah, Bon Scott just died, and
Cool.
Rick wrote the song about Bon Scott. If you listen to lyrics, he says "Highway to Hell." Also, he says it wasn't Johnny Be Good, but it sounded so great. Where before Bon died, he joined Cheap Trick on stage and did Johnny Be Good with Angus Young. So
That's cool.
there's quite a few references of Bon Scott through the lyrics. They were good friends. They toured with each other. I got many pictures of Bon with Cheap Trick playing pool. They were tight, man. And this song's about it. And this song fucking rips. Probably the
Right
heaviest
on.
song on the album. It rocks hard. It kicks much ass. I absolutely
Yeah.
love it. And I love the little spoken word in the middle. Uh, dan, da, dan, da, dan, da, dan, da, dan, dan, and you hear that guy talking. It's
Yeah, it's
just a
great.
badass tune, man. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna go into "I Love You, Honey, but I Hate Your Friends." What do you think of this one?
This is like when Kiss does stuff like Any Way You Want It. It's a little too retro sounding for me. I like some parts of it, and it has a bar band vibe to it, like The Faces with Rod Stewart, but it feels a little too clap your hands for my taste. It seems to mimic Rod Stewart's song Hot Legs in some parts. It's okay, but it could have been better.
Well, it's very funny you say that, Lee, because every time I hear this song, it reminds me of the Rolling Stones. I'm like,
Huh.
this is such a Rolling Stones song. And I read an interview with Rick Nielsen saying he was thinking of the Faces when he wrote this song. So
Huh.
good catch there, Lee.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I also thought of the Rolling Stones too, but I didn't want to put too many references in
yeah.
what I do because I'm not like the professor of rock. I'm just a guy who likes to talk about music.
Well, I gotta say, you are better than the Professor of Rock.
Thank
I,
you.
I'd rather listen to you than the Professor of Rock. Are you
Yeah, thank
are
you,
you
man.
talking about the guy from YouTube?
Yeah,
He's all right, but he's no Lee.
yeah. I mean, I don't have to yet wear a hat like him. I dread the day I have to.
You don't need no hat. You don't need no stinking hat, Lee.
Yeah, I don't even need no brains, but I've
Well,
got them. Damn it!
you do? That's awesome, Lee. Congratulations. I had no idea.
I don't either. I'm guessing.
All right, Lee. Well, my opinion of the song, I like it, but it's not as good as all the songs before it. And starting here, I think that the album takes a turn for the worse. Uh,
Yeah, in fact, I'm glad that we're agreeing on everything. Right on.
yeah, I think it takes. This is where the album dips. I don't think the rest of the album is as good as everything we've from Love Comes Tumbling Down to
Yeah,
Stop the.
even though we disagreed on some songs, I'm glad that we've agreed on everything. That's cool.
Yeah, but I do like it. I do like the song. I like the little innuendo of doing cocaine, and
I mean,
you
if
know,
I was tied up on a chair and I couldn't get out to shut off the radio when this is on, I'd listen to it.
yeah, it's not bad, but it's just not as great as this one. I would definitely call filler.
Yeah, it's Elvis light.
Yes. All right. Well, then we go into um, go for the throat. Use your own imagination. What do you think of this wacky ass song?
This is an odd song. It's like a twisted version of Grease. I'm not going to say it's a great song, but at least it's unusual. I don't mind it, but I don't love it.
I like it more than I Love You, Honey, but still, it's not as good as everything before I Love You, Honey.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, I hear you.
but I do know Tom Peterson does play on the song, and I love the bass playing on the song. It's so good. That's to me the best part of the song is you listen to that bass going on during it. And it's
Cool.
it's it's just fucking wacky. And the way it
Yeah.
starts, it sounds like Psycho, like beep 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 beep, like coming through a fucking shower curtain with a fucking knife. It's
Yeah.
uh, it's wacky ass song. Not as good as the first 4 or 5 tracks, but better than I Love You, Honey, I will say. But then,
Yeah, okay.
but then it, for me, it hits a fucking brick wall. What do you think of the next one, which was supposed to be a B side, and somehow they threw it on the album? Who the King?
Are you saying that they kind of like a producer or someone, you know what? You fucked me over bad. I'm going to put the song on the album, you bitch. But
Yep,
anyway,
that's exactly what happened.
it's like in the right mood. This is going to sound weird, but I could probably listen to a whole album of drum songs like this. But I'm not in the mood to do it tonight. But it's a fun track. I would have been interested in hearing it with guitars and bass and turning into a really cool jamming song. But it works like this. It kind of reminds me of a Quebec band called Tuba Boo. They had cool drums to their sound. I give this an A okay when I'm in the mood for it.
So you give this one a thumbs up.
I give this one a quarter thumbs up.
That's
Now,
why I wanted you on this show, Lee.
yeah,
Nobody else would understand Who the King except for Lee Gerstmann.
and I this is the only time that I really cared for it. I mean, I do think that it's like a throwaway. Like if Van Halen did a song like Happy Trails on every album, it might get a little bit weak. Since they did it that one time, it's considered fun, but I feel like Cheap Trick did this one time too many, but it's a hell of a lot better than some other songs that I don't like at all.
Would you say there's a better song there that this song is better than any song on this album?
I'm not going to say from this album, but well, I would say this probably is as bad as maybe a couple of songs. I'd say probably probably shit. Like
I love you,
like
honey.
like like okay. Yeah, give me a moment. Yeah, can't stop it, but I'm gonna try is not as bad as it, but it's being well, actually no. Probably Baby Loves to Rock is just very slightly better.
Wow. Well, I think it's a fucking travesty. It was supposed to be a B-side, but for some reason they tacked it on at the end of the album. It's a big head scratcher.
Why did they even do it?
I don't know. It was, and why I believe the reason they did it was for a B-side. That's why they did it. But
Oh, you
somehow,
mean like a poop side?
yes. Now that same year they released a little EP called "Found All the Parts."
Uh huh.
They should have they should have used some of those songs. Like, do you know a song from Cheap Trick called "Such a Good Girl"?
Yeah.
That's a awesome power pop tune. They should have put that on there instead of "Who the King." And
It's
everything
not my
works if you
favorite
let it.
song by them, but I do agree it's better than this.
And everything works if you let it. I don't know if you know that tune.
I
That's a
had found all the parts.
okay. Well, yeah, I think everything works, and "Such a Good Girl" will be great on this. I would say "Take Me, I'm Yours," which is my favorite Cheap Trick ballad, but you already have "World's Greatest Lover." You have George Martin, so I'm fine leaving off my favorite Cheap Trick ballad off this album because I
They
don't
could
think it
have
would have
even
fit.
not even put the song on it. They could have just expanded the silence in between tracks like they did with Kiss Dress to Kill.
Right, but it's not as short as Dress to Kill. I don't know how
Yeah.
long this album clocks in. I'm figuring it's somewhere around 40 minutes. But
They could have made it a 37-minute album.
yeah, I just feel like Who the King is just pointless. But
But I do like drums. And I do like hearing Bunny Carlos doing drums. So
so do
that's
I.
why I don't hate it.
Right on. All right, and Lee, I gotta say, when I saw this tour live, they played every song on this album except for "World's Greatest Lover."
Huh.
They played "Who the King,"
They should
and
have not played that and played World's Greatest Lover.
yeah, but they played "Who the King," and Bunny wasn't alone. There were like three drum sets and I guess road crew guys or some, but
Huh.
two people came out and played it with him. I just
Was
found,
it pointless?
no, you know, in a live setting, it wasn't as annoying.
I
But
guess because you saw them smiling and they looked good or whatever.
right, and then of course they didn't have it in future set lists, but they did a show where they played songs from every album, which is it's a release called Silver, and
Hmm.
they brought it back. They brought it back on that show, and I was
Oh.
like, why? But
Huh.
anyway, but that's it, Lee. That's the end of our review of All Shook Up. Now, since this episode went by too quick, let's talk a little bit more about Cheap Trick. Do you have a favorite Cheap Trick album? Is it the first one or Dream Police?
Um it varies. I would say probably just for right now I'll say it's Dream Police cuz that's the first album of theirs that I got. But sometimes I do like the first album better. I'd say the first album is more heavy in some ways and I like it a lot better. but just for the time that I got it and my memories of when girls used to chase me in school and I used to think about them when I heard the album, I'm going to say Dream Police.
Well, you and I are exactly the same. Dream Police is my favorite, but sometimes it's the first one.
Yeah.
It fluctuates with me. Do you have a
Yeah.
favorite Cheap Trick song?
I'd say that probably The House is Rockin' is probably one of my favorite songs by them.
Great
And
song.
I also like Auf Wiedersehen,
Mm-hmm.
and occasionally I like Hello, How Are You? So those are the three favorites, except I will say the one song that I really love off of In Color is Hello There, Ladies and Gentlemen. So those are my four favorite songs by Cheap Trick.
I believe that's Tom Warman's favorite Cheap Trick song.
That's cool.
Yeah, Hello There,
Yeah,
which is a great tune. Have you ever seen Cheap Trick live?
I have not.
Guess how many times I've seen Cheap Trick live, Glee?
Probably more than me.
Oh, yeah, of course. You've never seen them.
Probably about 50.
Keep going.
Probably 100.
You're right. It's a little
Wow.
over 100. I lost count, but it's a little over 100. It's probably like 106, 105. Because I have not missed a Cheap Trick show since 1979 in South Florida, except two. One, because they opened for Poison, and I wasn't going to go see that.
Huh.
And another time I was going to go see Cheap Trick, and that same night, well, the same day, I got kidney stone attacks.
Oh.
And I ended up in the hospital, so I couldn't go. So
Were
out
they
of
always good?
every single time. And the good thing about Cheap Trick Live is that they don't play the same set list. They'll play the hits. They'll play I Want You to Want Me, Surrender. They don't play The Flame all the time. But every
Yeah.
time I see Cheap Trick, they either play a song I've never seen them play before or a song I haven't seen them play in decades. They always switch it
Cool.
around. And they're always
That's
amazing
cool.
live. That's why I've seen them over 100 times, man. I mean, because I know every time I go see Cheap Trick, I know I'm going to see something that I've either never seen them play before or something that I haven't seen them play in years. Look, the last time I saw Cheap Trick, no, not the last time. The time before that, they played Houses Rockin' with Domestic Problems. I haven't seen them play that since the Dream Police tour. So I'm
That's
talking
cool.
about almost 4 decades.
Do
I
they
didn't see.
sometimes change things up a little bit as far as how they play?
Well, no. You mean like if they change the song around and stuff?
Or like do they do any kind of jamming?
Well, they do on like when they play a song like "Need Your Love" or when they play a song
Oh,
like "Gonna
okay.
Raise Hell." They do some improvising during that long solo sections.
Yeah.
They do change it up a bit when I see that. And now, Bunny Carlos is no longer in the band, and they
Yeah.
have Rick Nielsen's son on drums, who's phenomenal. I mean, he can play the Bunny parts identical. And now
Cool.
the last time I saw Cheap Trick, they have another member on stage playing guitar, which is Robin's son, and
Oh,
he sings really good. And
that's cool.
so they have 5 members on stage now, and it's always awesome. They are the hardest working band. This is a band that got huge during Budokan and Dream Police playing arenas, and
Yeah.
then their popularity like pummeled, and they played little tiny clubs, and they never stopped. Most bands would stop. Most
Yeah.
bands would be like, "Fuck this," we're struggling playing clubs. Cheap Trick never did that. They're the hardest working rock and roll touring
Yeah.
band, if you ask me. I can't think of any band that busts their ass more than Cheap Trick.
Yeah. I would have liked to have heard Fuse live.
I have the Fuse album.
Yeah, I had it on CD, and that thing was on blaring red. It was like remastered so well, it almost blew the speakers away.
Wow. Yeah, I found it on CD first. like in early 90s. But then I found the vinyl at a record store convention,
Yeah.
which is the original. I don't
Yeah.
think they pressed that more than once. And they were on Epic Records as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good album, man. I dig it. The Fuse.
Yeah.
People might not know about that band, but Lee
Yeah.
Gerstmann does, bitch.
Yeah. In fact, in the liner notes to the CD, Rick Nielsen talked about, he said that album to him stunk compared to how they were live. He said we were awesome live, you know. So that's why I would have wanted to hear them live to hear the difference.
Yeah, which for those that don't know, Fuse featured Rick Nielsen and Tom Peterson in the band.
Yeah.
They were called Sick Men of Europe,
Yeah.
but they didn't release anything. They did write a song called Sick Men of Europe many years later on the latest
Yeah.
album. And have you heard that song Sick Man of Europe from Cheap Trick?
No, I might have heard of it, but I forget if I've heard it. I
It
don't think I did.
it rocks, man. You'll dig it because if you like House is Rocking and Love Comes
Yeah.
Tumbling Down, you'll love Sick Men of Europe. It's
Okay.
a very heavy, fast, riffy tune, you know.
I'll listen then.
Right on, Lee. Lee, you rule, dude. Thank you so much for doing the
Right on, you rule
Sierra
too,
Vault,
man.
man. And everybody, you got to check out Lee Gertzman's show. And Lee, I've been liking what you've been doing now with Ken Mills on your show. Talk about that.
Yeah, we're doing some called the Song Exchange. And that's where one week he picks a song, the next week I pick a song, and we talk about the songs. And it's different because instead of reviewing a whole album or doing a really long podcast, we do them short and sweet. Of course, I talk a little bit more than the average person, so it's never going to be so short. But we try to keep it kind of at least under 20 minutes. And we talk about songs that we like. Ken will talk about a song that he wants to turn me onto, and then the next week I'll talk about a song that I want to turn him onto.
Well, I've been really enjoying it. And I spoke to Ken Mills the other day on the phone, and
That's cool.
you came up, and he said he really enjoys doing your show.
Hey, well, he's a really cool guy.
I really love doing your show.
Yeah. Um, I have to pick another album for you to do.
Yeah. One of your wacky ass albums, like Wild Butter.
Yeah, um, I'll. I'm not gonna make you do David Pomerantz. That would be torture. But I mean, something with a little bit of a rock edge to it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've only disliked one album that you
Yeah,
made me
I
review.
I, 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 I would want to do her other album, but I might have to drag somebody else kicking and screaming to do that one.
But I like Jody Grind, Wild Butter. I liked all these obscure things that you.
Jody Grind did a first album
Oh yeah,
that 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 is a little bit different than the second one, and hey, if you'd ever want to do that one, that might be cool.
yeah. I'll do it, dude. Just let me
You
know,
know what's
maybe.
so weird? It's like I liked that whole album, and after you talked about how you only liked like four songs, after I heard the other songs that you didn't like as much, I went, you know what? You're right. Man, you sort of changed my mind, damn you.
Oh, sorry,
but
Lee.
but sorry for being such a great observer of music. Even though the stuff that you like that I don't like, I fiercely hate. The stuff that you like that I do like, I fiercely love.
Right on, dude. I understand your hatred. Look, I know I like a lot of shit that people hate. I'm very well aware of this, you know? But Hey, man, I can't lie to myself. I ain't no poser. I'm going to love what I love, man. A lot of people don't like it. Man, I even like the Van Hagar song. And you know how much I hate Van Hagar. You know, they say, I always have this saying, I'm like, you know, that when people say, well, this is my guilty pleasure, I'm like, dude, I ain't got no fucking guilty pleasure. Everything I like
Yeah.
is a pleasure.
I want to tell you that there's a guy who's been posting Van Halen albums and erasing vocals. He's only done that mostly with David Lee Roth. I want him to do that with the Sammy albums. So then
Yeah,
that way you can hear some of the Sammy albums without his vocals. You
that'd
know
be
what I mean?
nice. That would be nice.
Yeah.
But even some of those songs without vocals, it'd still be torture to me. Fucking
Yeah.
love come. What is it? When
Yeah.
it's love and shit. Nah, man. Vocals or not,
And
that shit
I
blows.
don't like that crap.
No, me neither, man. That shit sucks, man. But anyway,
Yeah.
Lee, you rule, dude. Thank you so much for being part of the Vicky's vagina. I mean, the Vieira Vault.
Yeah. And when will you be able to be on my show again?
Let's shoot for next week, but probably around this time. Uh, I'm
Okay.
I'm not 100
I'll
percent
think of an album that I'll get drunk and think of an album.
right
Okay.
on, dude. Make sure
Right
make sure it's not too annoying.
on. I can't promise that, but I can promise that it. No, I'll try.
Right on, Lee.
I'll try to
Well,
make it too annoying. No, I'm kidding. I won't.
all right, dude. You fucking roll. Until
You
next
too,
time,
man.
hey, schmack 'em a ga, bro.
And a peanut butter sandwich to you too, buddy.
Stay frosty.
And beer.
Ah, that Lee. Hell of a guy. Well, it's time for the vault. Yes, I'm going to play something from Cheap Trick, from the All Shook Up era. So follow me into the Vieira Vault. This week in the Vieira Vault, I'm going to play a live version of Love Comes Tumbling Down. And if you heard what I said during it, this song was dedicated to Bon Scott. And you will hear it in this song because they play the song and then they go into an AC/DC classic. So enjoy Cheap Trick Live 1980 on the All Shook Up tour with Love Comes Tumbling Down.
Tell you, son, that little one I wasn't
I've been wishing to live longer, aided by the healing forces of music. It most definitely overcomes all weakening aspects of the body. I'd have felt quite lost and distraught without those wonderful vinyl productions. I'm convinced it's an addiction. I feel just great again. Thank you, Chicago, Illinois.
Trick live in 1980 with Love Comes Tumbling Down and Highway to Hell. Well, that wraps it up for another Vieira Vault. I want to thank everybody that's listening right now. Like I always say every week, I love you. And keep those iTunes reviews coming and YouTube comments. I'm going to read them all in future episodes. I'm going to start doing that, starting with this episode. So, tune in next week. I don't know if it's going to be Will, Carol talking about the Who, or I'll come up with something. You know, I have to edit a special episode that's going to take a while to edit, where I compile clips of the Dr. Fuck radio show where I actually had sex on the air, and I got in trouble for it. I still have that recording. I found it, and I definitely got to put it on a Vieira Vault in the future, and I just don't really have enough time to edit all those little clips as is now, but I do have it all in a folder, and it will be eventually made. But if it's not next week, which I doubt, because I don't have enough time this week to do that, it'll be Will Carroll, or I'll come up with something. So tune in next week on the Vieira Vault. Thank you all for watching, and stay frosty, and schmack 'em a gob.